Welcome one and all to the all-in-one MLS Fantasy Show. This is the MLS Fantasy Cast, a sort of weekly diary of the trials and tribulations, ups and downs, epic highs and lows of my FMLS team, Pancake FC. I'm joined, as almost always, by said fantasy team's namesake, Pancake. Today we are doing our weekly review of the previous week that will entail taking a quick look back at all of the fixtures, discussing players who did well and players who did not. Finally, we will take a look under the hood at how my team did and what the dream team looked like. If you do see Pancake huffing and puffing away on the Pancake cam, we did just go out and throw the frisbee and ball around. I don't know if you've noticed, but she's put on a few pounds over the last half year or so trying to get her some exercise, and she is sufficiently wore out, so I don't think she'll be doing a lot of co-hosting duties today. Let's go ahead and get into it. Let's get into the fixtures. If you were like me in the 90% of players who struggled this week, don't feel alone. Lots of us did. We'll get to that in a minute. We'll go ahead and just go through the fixtures. Chicago 4, Montreal 3, really wacky game. Very poorly refereed. Hopefully the MLS will give the referees what they want, pay them actual money to do their jobs, because the scab refs really struggled this week. This was a wild game, very exciting. Montreal can definitely feel hard done by, but Chicago did play well in spells. It was a very exciting game, pretty wacky one too. DC won, Miami 3. I think this was kind of a rough loss for DC, maybe coming back to earth just a little bit. They looked good in most of the first half of this game and then just went super flat. Miami really figured them out. Luis Suarez, big super sub moment. Campagna played very well too. DC really struggled in this one. Seattle won, Colorado won. I don't know if Seattle, if they hadn't gone a man down, if Colorado would have still made the comeback. Seattle's offense is just so poor. Jordan Morris and Raul Ruidiaz are just not. They're just not it. They're just not it. Tactically, they're struggling. Defensively, they're still solid, but oh my gosh, their offense is so much worse than I could have ever imagined. Colorado, definitely a good point for them, despite still a lot of struggles and an unfortunate penalty miss from George Mihailovic. Columbus 3, New York 0. This was a whooping. Aside from the 5-0 Inter Miami win, this is probably the most dominant game I've seen so far. Just complete domination from Columbus. A very impressive win for them. New York City 2, Toronto 1. New York City are finally on the board with a W. Toronto, a little bit depleted. New York definitely showed a little bit of character, which was nice to come back and win that game. Dallas 1, Vancouver 3. Getting semi-close to time to press the panic button for Dallas. This was a bad loss. It is the second of a couple of bad home losses that the team has suffered. Just strange decision to change up the tactics so early from Nico Estevez. Vancouver played very well. I thought they're looking actually pretty solid this year. Dallas, very questionable. Minnesota 2, LAFC 0. Very deserved win for Minnesota. LAFC, not a panic button pressing time, but they are a lot worse than I thought they were going to be this year. Danny Buanga is a lot worse than what I expected him to be. He is seriously underperforming right now, and that LAFC front line otherwise is not very good. I'm not sure what LAFC can do aside from just bringing more players. I don't think that actually what they have is going to work. Minnesota, very good win. Another very good win. They look really good this year. Austin 2, Philadelphia 2. Kind of a decent draw for both teams. Philadelphia was super depleted. Maybe Austin would have been hoping to win the game, but with what Austin's got on their roster, this is, I think, whatever result. Both teams can probably feel fine-ish with that. Kansas City 2, San Jose 1. I am ready to announce that San Jose are the worst team in the league, I think maybe by a little bit of a margin. We'll see if they can turn things around. But at the moment, I think San Jose are the clear wooden spoon favorites. Kansas City got 2 goals in despite not creating a lot, but they're a very solid team this year. Nashville 2, Charlotte 1. Sam Surridge was incredible this game. Incredible. Probably his best game in a Nashville jersey. Mook didn't really do all that much. He didn't necessarily have to. It'll be nice to see him, get back to fitness a little bit and see him get back to some of his previous form. But to me, this game was the Sam Surridge show. He had an outstanding game. Houston 1, Portland 0, a big win for Houston. They are just a very, very strong home team. Just always hard to beat at home, no matter who is on the field. Ben Olsen coached a great game. Coco Karskia had a great game. It'll be interesting to see now Houston's this next week. They do have their first away game, excluding CCL games. We'll see how that goes for them, because I do think they're best at home, and I think their away form is going to be probably a lot worse. Portland were good in the first half of this game. They did struggle quite a bit the second half. LA 3, St. Louis 3. Crazy game. Very exciting. LA hit the bar quite a bit. I think St. Louis have impressed a lot with another roster that is lacking a bit. LA need to figure out a lot of their off-ball defense, maybe just their defense in general. They're letting in a lot of goals, but when they get moving, they're still very, very impressive, and I think still one of the best teams in the league. Going on to the Sunday games, New England 1, Cincinnati 2. It is time to press the panic button for New England. I don't think they're as bad as San Jose, but they're bad. They're really, really bad. The Caleb Porter era could not have started worse. Literally could not have started worse. I think Pat Noonan, this is like a coaching masterclass. When I saw the lineups, I thought if New England don't win this game by like 2 goals, then it's embarrassing. And look what happened. Pat Noonan brought on Acosta, Bupenza later at just the right moments. He shut New England out until it was time to bring Acosta in, and I've never seen... It's been a while since I've seen a sub come into a game and impact it like that quickly. It's a very impressive win for Cincinnati, but oh my gosh, New England are abysmal. They're horrible. Atlanta 2, Orlando 0. A very good win for Atlanta. If GG can stay healthy, the Golden Boot is his. It's his. Giacomakis is the best striker in the league. He's just a monster. He's ruthless. I don't think there's anybody else out there who wants goals like he does. He is mean. He is big. He is scary. He is the most dominant striker in the league right now. A pretty impressive win for Atlanta. Orlando weren't very good, but they weren't that bad. I do think they will start to improve some despite their terrible start to the season. I do think we will start to see them get a little bit better. So I did drop quite a few spots, 200 or 300, I think. Until the very end, I was clinging to life in the top 300, but ultimately with the Atlanta clean sheet, I didn't take Brooks Lennon. People who got those points, he had the assist as well. That's what really kind of dumped me down. As per usual, I tinkered. This team looks different than it did at last week's preview. Let me try to remember some of the changes that I made. So Jake Davis, I believe, was in there the whole time. Interesting 500K, a full 500K price rise. That's pretty good. 3 points with not a clean sheet. Not bad at all. I'll take those that money for sure. Sam Jukwa did not perform especially well. Didn't play super long either. Still went up 100K. Not bad. I'll take that. Alex Roldan. So I think I may have had Caleb Wiley in here before. It was with, so I got the feeling that Lucho wasn't going to start this game, like Friday, I think, and I decided just to hedge that bet, put that money elsewhere, because I felt like a lot of these other spots were pretty weak looking. He didn't start that game, so I was right, and that was good. Obviously, I wish I would have taken him, but my rule, I don't start players off the bench no matter what. It's just too risky, so I don't regret that, but it is unfortunate that he got the points he did off the bench. I switched it to Alex Roldan because I thought Seattle would keep a clean sheet. They did not, but he still got a price rise, a couple points. It's whatever. Carlos Hill got a full 500K price rise. I think that is very, very, very generous from the game's algorithm or whatever. He tried his best against Cincinnati, but, season low 3 points. It is what it is. Thiago Almada had a very, very noticeably off night against Orlando, which is impressive for Atlanta. They don't necessarily need him to win. He got the extra point for the clean sheet. Aside from that, he just wasn't involved in much. A lot of times when he got the ball, he just didn't know what to do with it. You could just tell he was out of sync with everybody else. Just kind of an off game for him. Of course, the 1 week that I finally captained Ricky Pooch. He dropped to 5. Disappointing. He was uninvolved, actually, for a lot of the game in the key moments. It's kind of whatever. I mean, 5 points is good. But it is disappointing that he didn't have as good of a game fantasy-wise as he did against the Quakes or Nashville. He had one shot that I think came off the bar. That would have helped quite a bit. But it is kind of a bummer. I mean, my other captaincy option was Almada, so, it worked out better than that. But still, I feel like most of my captaincy choices this year have just been duds. I'm not sure what to do about it, but hopefully in the coming weeks that improves. I took Cucho this week. A handful of people did not. I didn't take him last week, and he did still get 6 points, which is kind of actually what convinced me. I'm probably taking Cucho more or less every week. Maybe I'll just leave him on my bench sometimes if I don't think he's going to score. Because when he doesn't score, his points floor is like the highest of anybody right now. He just gets so many shots. He gets so many touches. He's a key pass monster. Everything runs through him. He got the goal and the assist. 12 points. Big haul. Happy I took him. Wish I would have captained him. It's whatever. But Cucho is, that's like number one fantasy asset right now. Took GG again. That obviously paid off. He had a goal and an assist. Big game for him. Andrew Thomas, despite not keeping the clean sheet, popped in a big 9 points due to the penalty save. So that was a good pick. I can't remember. I think I might have had somebody else in instead of Thomas earlier in the week. Like it might have been Gavran or something. I'm not sure. But going with Thomas was a good choice. It might have been Melia. I think I might have had Melia and did the keeperoo and got the points for Thomas, saved me a little bit of cash. Forsberg's in as well. Kind of a bummer that he just didn't do anything for the Bulls. They were completely mollywopped that game. He is, if you just look at his points right now, he's more of a hit or miss player than it feels like he should be. So I'm not really sure what to do with Forsberg right now, because it seems like he should be like a blue chip guy, but maybe he's not. I took Mukhtar. This was kind of a regret. This didn't really work out. Didn't go so bad. If it wouldn't have lost me a little bit of cash, then I wouldn't really be as mad about it. It was a bench play. But it didn't work. This was my worst decision of the week. I switched from Joveljic to Benteke. I don't know why I think I just felt that Benteke had a better chance to score, that Miami lineup was weak. In fairness, he should have had a penalty. He for sure should have had a penalty. He did miss a couple chances. He did not look 100%. I shouldn't have taken him coming off an injury. This was just a bad choice. I should have stuck with Joveljic. It was just a bad choice. I'm going to try in the coming weeks, this week especially. I feel like every week, all my tinkering and stuff, for the most part, like 90%, has made my teams worse. The one thing that I think I did was 2 weeks ago, I took Cucho when I wasn't going to take him. That was a good call. I think that's the only good tinker I've done this whole year. So I've already basically made my team. I'm going to talk about it soon in the preview. Hopefully, you're going to see that same team pop up the week after in the review. I'm going to try to just, I think my first instincts are way better than anything else I do. So I'm going to try to stick with it, because that's really what killed a lot of this. It was a super weird week. Very few clean sheets, lots of red cards, lots of missed penalties, lots of just missed penalties this year. Didn't do so good, just whiffed on a lot of these picks. Most people did, so it's not the end of the world, but it's a little frustrating. Let's go on to the dream team for the week. Andrew Thomas in at 9. Brooks Lennon. Wish I would have taken him. He might have been in my team before. I think it was Wiley. I think it was always Wiley. But I did want Lennon for sure this week. And congratulations to anyone who took him. I just didn't like the money. Should have spent it. Big week for Columbus, of course. Miguel Tapias got in there for Minnesota. Good for him. They played a great game. Houston kept the clean sheet. I don't remember what I thought about that last week. But in hindsight, I kind of wish I would have tried to take a flyer, maybe on a Portland defender. Houston just have been scoring this year, more or less just one goal, but I'm getting mixed up in my head. I'm talking about Houston Tech. Portland, honestly, in hindsight, I feel like I should have just saw the Houston defender. In fairness, Portland could have scored a goal. but it feels so obvious now that like Houston actually had a good chance at keeping a clean sheet. Just missed out on that one. Kellen Acosta obviously got a lot of points with that wild goal taken over Sirois' hands by the wind. Paintsel had a big week. He is definitely, I think, a boomer bust guy, but I think he's actually probably worth it. Just how big he booms. More on that to come in the preview. Santi Rodriguez was incredible for New York City against Toronto. He's their best player by country mile. He was amazing. He's one of the best performances I saw this week. He was outstanding against Toronto. Very, very impressive game for him. Acosta, obviously incredible off the bench. Campagna, this is how it tells you like what a wacky week this was. Like Campagna was the highest scoring player, 75 minutes, a goal and an assist, and then some bonus points. Highest scoring player. Very strange. And then Cucho got in there as well. So just a weird week, difficult to predict. Didn't really work out for me. Didn't work out for a lot of people. It is what it is. Hopefully this next week will go better. But with the international break, there's a lot of absences. It's going to be another wacky week. But I'll tell you, I am confident in my picks more so than I was this last week. But that will do it for today. If you did enjoy the video, feel free to like, subscribe, or even leave a comment. Best of luck to everyone this coming week. May the FMLS gods bless your teams with favorable bonus points and goals. I will see you all very soon at the preview of the coming week.